Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope everyone's great and fine and good with all the stuff that's going on in the last couple of days. But we want to do a tabletop. You've seen the little 357 Magnum that I bought. So I did a little research on it, and I want to relay this to you. It may not mean anything to you, and it might. But anyway, this is a tabletop on a Taurus Tracker 357 Magnum. Okay, first off, the weapon is unloaded. It's safe. And you notice, we'll jump right to this. 7 rounds. Most handguns today, in this price range, are 5 rounds. And if you're lucky enough, you may find a 6 round. I like that 7 rounds, so that's really what attracted me to this handgun. But to start with, it's 357 Magnum. That's what that is, 357 Magnum. Same size and everything as a 38 Special. Don't be fooled, it's not a 38 Special. It's a little bit, the casing's a little longer to avoid them, you sticking a 357 in a 38. 357 Magnum, it's a wildly different muzzle velocity than a 38 Special. Well, saying that, it's also got a wide range of muzzle velocities. It can go anywhere from 1,200 feet a second up to 17, 18 with a standard production ammo. You can load it to shoot harder than that. I mean, I wouldn't, but a lot of these guys are. As to where a 38 Special, it start around 700, 720, and they go up to around 850. Now we're talking about standard pressure rounds. I'm not talking about the plus P and the plus P plus and so on. I don't buy into that. It's a real deal. I mean, if you want a little stronger round, you get a plus P. If you need a plus P plus 38 Special, then what you need is a 357 Magnum. That's just the way I look at it. 357 Magnums, along with a lot of other pistols. Now, I can also fire 38 Specials in this gun. It'll shoot 357s, 38 Specials, and back in the day they had one that was a 38 short. If you found some of them anywhere in old warehouse or sporting goods place or feed and seed store, you could fire 38 shorts in this gun. That's one of the main attractions of having a 357 is that you can fire 38s and any plus P variant that they make for 38. If you wanted a 38, if they made a 38 plus P plus times 900, you could fire it in a 357. The frame's beefed up for the 357 round, and 38 will get nowhere close to it, pressure-wise. Okay, well, that being said, the gun has, let me see if I remember right. I'm going to have to look at my cheat sheet right here. Anyway, well, this gun particularly has a 4-inch barrel, and it's also ported. See the holes on either side? That porting it's there. It's there for a reason. It's like a good thing and a bad thing. 357 full house Magnum rounds have a blast that is just undescribable. The blast. When you're holding this pistol out and you fire it, you get blast out of the end of the barrel, of course, but you also get it around the cylinders, in your spaces, especially right here. That blast is deafening, and it also throws gunpowder and everything back in your face. It can. So the porting helps, and if you'll notice, it blows upwards. Now that's the drawback. In order to keep the barrel, the flip down, it blows up. So simultaneously, recoil and an upward blow kind of helps level out the barrel. You know, you're going up like this, and you're going up like this. So, you know, it's one of the push, you know what I'm saying? It's like a push-pull effect. With that being said, is it worth what you have to go through with that ported barrel? Not in my book. Not in my opinion. I didn't buy this pistol because it was ported. I almost didn't buy it. It almost kept me from buying it. And here's why. You haven't lived until you take a handgun, especially a .357 Magnum, and fired it in low light or at night inside your home or anywhere else with a ported barrel. Glock had a 23, which is a 40 cal, and it's a high pressure round, and I had one. And it had a compensated barrel. Basically, it was ported. And then they called it the Dragon, because any low light situation, you pull that trigger, you're blinded. That fire coming out of the top of that barrel right in your face, I mean, just right there in front of you, one shot's all you probably going to get off. That's not a good thing. And it throws back gunpowder and shrapnel, whatever you want to call it. You could feel it hit your face. But the biggest thing is what it does to your eyesight. You can't, it blinds you. So that's the bad thing with the porting. I don't care enough about the recoil to have a ported barrel. But I bought this pistol because I wanted a mate to my Henry rifle. It fires .357s, right? So I wanted a pistol that will also fire .357s. So in case if it ever come to it, I could have a handgun and a rifle, both firing the same round. That's why I bought this. Specs on this handgun, and before anybody jumps on here and on this bandwagon, well, it's not a pistol, it's a revolver. Listen, kid, I know it's a revolver. I choose to call it a pistol sometimes because I just don't think about it. It ain't that big a deal to me. So, yes, this is a revolver. So, pardon me if I accidentally call it a pistol sometimes. The gun weighs 40 ounces. If I ain't mistaken and my math is on, that's, let's see, 16 be, anyway, it's heavy. But for a 4-inch revolver, it's really not heavy, especially a 7-round one. It has a stainless steel barrel, frame, cylinder, in a matte finish. The gun has adjustable sights, rear, for windage and elevation. It has a high-vis front sight, which I like. I'm sure that with these ports, it'll get mighty dirty, in some range time, but you can just wipe that off. It's single action, double action. Basically, for you that don't know, single action, snap, double action. Okay. The barrel rate is 1 in 16-inch twist. So with a 4-inch barrel, that means it's a quarter twist from here. Well, from here actually to here. It'll 1/4 of an inch turn. The gun is 10 3/4 inches long from here to here overall. It is 1.531 inches wide at the cylinder. So it's under 2 inches wide, believe it or not. High from here to here is 5.40 and some change, so 5.5 inches almost from there to there. It has 5 groove rifling in the barrel. That's the technical stuff for you guys. These grips are called ribber. If you can see, they've got these little, see that? I ain't crazy about that. Feels kind of weird. but they do the job. I will tell you, any handgun like this, any revolver, right here where you put your finger when you're holding this gun, that knuckle tends to turn right into that. It's not the design of the gun that's bad, and it's not the design of, it's not how you're, it's just one of them things. You got to deal with it. What else can we say about it? I like the stainless because it's easier to clean. You just keep it wiped off. And it's not going to rust nearly as quickly as blued will. But I didn't buy the gun because it was stainless. I bought it because I got a good deal on it. Because you already know I don't like the ported. The timing is good. If anybody knows about revolvers, knows timing. And the lockup's good. Lockup. So it's locked up when it's out of battery. The lockup's tight. When it's in battery, the lockup's tight. That's a good thing. It opens smoothly. Ejection rods work smoothly. Little gun's in pretty good shape. Taurus has got this lock. Now, I'm sure all of you are familiar with it. When you buy a new one, this gun was secondhand when I bought it. It's got a little key that you put in this hole, and there's a keyway there. There's a little hex key, hex head bolt, nut, screw, whatever. You put it in and you turn it to the right. Well, that locks the gun. It won't go any further than there. I don't keep my guns locked. I teach my children to not mess with them. It's so much easier to teach them right from the get-go. But my kids are grown. My grandkids know not to mess with them. Of course, we would never take a chance like that anyway. They're put up when they're here, but, if they were to see one at someone else's house, they know not to touch that firearm. They know better, and because they've been taught better. Anyway, safety starts at home. But there it is. It is a model 627 Taurus tracker and 357 Magnum. There really ain't a whole lot to say about it. The one thing about that I like having a revolver in the house is because it was one of the first pistols that had second strike capability. I mean, if it don't fire, pull it again. Pull it again. Eventually it's gonna fire. No, you can't. What I'm saying is, I guess, it's one of the most foolproof forms of handgun defense or firearm defense that you can get. But now I will tell you, guys, it's not funny to stand your wife outside with this pistol and 158 grain plus P and let her be firing this pistol, this gun. If she's not educated on firearms, the blast will deter her from doing it again. She's not going to want to shoot the gun. Same with the children. It's fun. I like to watch them. I got old shotgun over there. I love to find me buddies or whatever that, they're Mr. Billy Badass. Fire, hey, try this one out, and then it knocks them out of their chair. That tickles me to death, but I wouldn't do that to a woman or a child. It's a lot of handgun, a lot of blast. But then again, if you want something that'll do the job, you got to put up with that. You just train yourself for it and get in, these guns, all Taurus handguns, I want to make a quick mention of this. They are made in Brazil. Okay, they're not American made. They are imported into the country by Taurus International Manufacturing and stamped, and that's in Miami, Florida. These are not American made firearms, but there was a time several years ago that Taurus and Smith & Wesson were one and the same. Nobody knew that at the time, of course, but when these guns come along. Smith has one very, very, very similar to this. I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's a 686. 636. Anyway, it's the same gun. Same gun at $800 versus $400. They took the template and the manufacturing processes and everything. They made 2 guns. They stamped one Taurus and one Smith. So when they were together, if you can find a Taurus made in that time, like this one, it is a Smith & Wesson, essentially. They did a few minor little things here, like the lock, that would, symbolize it being a Taurus. But everything else is basically the same, especially the frame, trigger, trigger guard. One difference I know, and I'm not taking my grip off to show you, the Taurus has a spring, a coil spring type hammer spring. Okay, whereas the Smith, like this, has a flat spring. That's a big difference. Is one better than the other? I don't know. I don't care. I ain't gonna walk around with my grip off. I don't ever see that spring. As long as that gun does that and it has enough tension to where it'll fire that round, that's all I care about. But there it is. It's pretty accurate. 10 yards, I think it would have grouped a lot better than it did. Had I took my time, I fired some reloads, and I fired a couple of factory round soft points. And I think it was somewhere like that. And I wasn't really sitting there, benching the gun and trying to be, I was just shooting to see if it was going to shoot. So anyway, Taurus 357 Magnum tracker. The tracker comes in many different calibers. Check it out. I mean, I'm not saying don't buy Smith. I'm just saying, if you're on a budget like a lot of us are, don't be afraid to buy this gun. It runs well, and it fires well, and it's well built. So anyway, thank you for watching. If we've taught you anything, or if you just like watching my videos because you like looking at me or whatever, hit like and subscribe. Click the little notification icon so you can be notified when I put out other videos, and which I do a pretty good bit of when I get a chance. Lately I've put out a few. But thank you. Go do all that stuff you're supposed to do. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get back on our knees and pray. It really is. With all the things going on, there ain't but one thing's going to fix it, and that's God Almighty. So, God bless you. Take care of yourself and each other. Stay healthy. Don't let anybody get right upon you with all this sickness going on. Pray for our government. Pray for your brothers. And pray for our country. Thank you.